Torch the compute. Hey, here we are. So we were just having a fun little giggle about periods and menopause.
Beautiful.
Pre-menopause. We're not there yet. We're not there
Yeah, I
yet.
was gonna
Well,
say
I don't know what the difference
we're
is between pre and peri.
I don't know.
I think it's the
Perimenopause.
same thing.
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
No, but what we were laughing about, Mercedes, when you came on is I said, I think I've been having night sweats since I was 12 years old. So
Really? Oh my God, poor thing.
oh, yeah.
I do
Anyway.
have nice sweats now, like yeah,
Oh, do
connecting.
you?
Not all the time, but sometimes I'm always hotter than my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the whole conversation started because I said I have to take off my sweater because I'm sweating. And so, yeah. So, yeah.
No story.
Anyway, you
The
look.
moral of the story is we are hot.
Yeah, we're hot and we're
We're
hot.
hot.
And Mercedes, we're hot because you're here. Look at you. You're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
We're
Thank you.
we've been talking, so we Voxer like all the time, right? We're like we coach each other. And we've been talking about, well, I'm just diving in. We need to introduce you. So
Introduce.
let's back this up. Okay, I'm gonna introduce you. So Mercedes, how do I say your last name?
So we didn't start yet, right?
We're
Oh yeah.
starting.
Okay, let me get my sweat mustache for my perimenopause. I'm sweating.
Because you're hot.
Is it Maidana?
Maidana, yeah,
Oh,
Maidana.
I did it.
Maidana.
Okay.
Maidana.
Mercedes Maidana.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, perfect.
Mercedes Maidana is an abundance coach, former professional big wave surfer, and Patagonia Surf Ambassador. She is a three-time consecutive finalist at the XXL Billabong Big Wave Awards, nominated one of the top three female big wave surfers in the world, 2009, 2010, 2011. Mercedes has been featured in the New York Times, The Guardian, ESPN, PBS, and BBC News, among endless media publications. Through her work as a coach, Mercedes guides women to heal their relationship with themselves and with money and create their rich lives. She's the founder of the Rich Mermaids, a space for self-love, self-care, and female empowerment. Mercedes is based in Corpus Christi, Texas, where she lives with her partner Leo, their dog Jimbo, and baby Fede. And we are so freaking excited. We have been talking all morning about money, sex, and God.
Awesome. Wow. That was the
So,
word, doesn't it?
That sums it all up. That's it.
so we're so excited to learn from you
Yes.
about your story, your journey, your mission, how you're serving the world. And I'm just so excited that you're doing what you're doing, that you're helping women to be more empowered, especially with money.
Yeah.
We need women to feel empowered around money.
Absolutely. Well, first, thank you for having me. I listened to one of your episodes and I loved it. I heard it top to bottom. You guys are so much fun, but also you go in so much depth. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you. And yeah, let's dive in. Let's talk about whatever you want. And I'm on my journey too. You know, I run this group program, the Rich Mermaids, and there's a group of women. I love it because it's like women from their 20s to their 70s. I mean, I cannot believe the range, and they're all there supporting each other and working on their money stuff, you know, their beliefs on how we were raised. And we all have different stories. And I feel like they mold us in a way, and then we kind of act out in however we were raised as adults, our limitations or our judgments around money. And it gets to a point that, okay, we can keep going on that direction, but we get the same old results of probably being stuck or not making money or the money that we want, or undercharging, or I see a lot of not even charging. That's
Yeah.
a not even
Yeah.
charging.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many levels. But what I've seen, I mean, everything I ever share is from my own story, and then I pass the tools to others. I always say I don't have the truth of anything. I just have my journey, and you can try these tools, you know. And I seen that I can rewrite my story. I'm still rewriting it. That's why I say I'm on my journey. It's not like I arrived, here I am with my $100 million empire or whatever. I'm just writing my story of me as a person and living my abundance in all levels, not just financial. And I feel like it is great to know that we can change the way we were raised around money. We can create new neural pathways in the brain and create new little paths with different lights that take us to different actions, first different thoughts, beliefs, emotions, actions, and results. So that's a little bit of the journey that we are on, and we and the mermaids, you know, I call them the mermaids. You know, I'm a surfer.
I
I
love
love
it.
that. I love it too. I love it so much. God, there's so much that I want to know. Because I know a little bit about your story, but I would love for you to share. I mean, clearly you had life experiences that have brought you to this moment. Can you share about like what was the experience that you had that you were never the same after? Is there like a major catalyst, a major experience?
That's a easy one for me to answer. That's when I had my traumatic brain injury. That was in 2014. And I was surfing big waves, around 30-foot waves. And it was in a contest in Oregon, in an outer reef. So in the middle of the ocean with the big sharks, the whole thing.
Wow.
And it was like, the sharks was the least of my fears. It was just, the waves were big. Actually, they were not that big for what I was used to. I mean, they were like 25 to 30 foot, not a big deal at that moment of my life, right? I was trained as a big wave surfer for years and years and years. But something happened that day which goes back to a week before, that I almost drowned in 50-foot waves in Maui, in Jaws. And I didn't process it because at the time I had zero knowledge of my feelings, what I need, my inner child, none of that. I was just like, go, 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 achieve big goals. Nothing stops me. So that was like my journey until
you were invincible. Yeah.
Absolutely invincible. That's how I felt. Every time I would survive things that were literally life or death. Actually, when I got the pre-traumatic brain injury accident a week before, that I almost drowned in 50-foot waves, I felt I was literally high, like, oh my God, I'm not afraid of dying anymore. Because I literally almost went to the other side. And I was like, no, bring it on. Nothing's going to stop me. Like, instead of being like, I almost died, let me see what the hell can I do? No, I was like, now forget it. There's no limits with my big wave surfing. So a week later, I go to this contest in small waves, you know, because from 50-foot waves to 30 is like, oh, it's a walk in the park.
Wow.
And I got basically a big wave came out of nothing, or of nowhere. It was like 35 foot. And I just went into PTSD mode and I froze. It took me back to a week prior. Suddenly I was like, I cannot be underwater like this. I cannot be underwater, not for 1 second. Like, I cannot do this anymore. And I froze. Instead of diving into the wave and trying to pass it, I just froze. And then I fell with the wave, and my board went on my head. So that gave me a brain injury. I didn't die because my higher power does not want me dead, at least for now, or until that point, because it was just ridiculous. One big accident and after the next. And yeah, that changed my life. I mean, it was literally like from that concussion, that's when the dark night of the soul started. It lasted a good 5-6 years, like deep depression. It came with everything, like basically the loss of everything in my life. So when that happened, I was sponsored by Patagonia for 6 years. I was an ambassador, one of the best women surfers in the world in big waves. So that was my identity, the strong woman, like glamorous. I was giving motivational talks all over the world. I was connecting my path to abundance and manifesting your dreams, and how I am manifested my athletes, surfers' dreams. Because I started surfing at age 21. I was a city girl before, and by age 26, I was one of the best big wave surfers in the world in female. So I was like full on focus, manifestation. And I wanted Patagonia to be my sponsor. It all happened. right? I traveled all the world. They paid me to go everywhere. Like, it was the dream. I was living on the beach for 10 years in Hawaii for free, manifested. All things were manifested. So at that time, I was also an abundance coach. I was doing that for 3 or 4 years. At the time, I was connecting all my tools of how I achieve impossible things. And I was helping women with their own projects, which became like business, entrepreneurs.
Were you the first woman in your family and in your lineage to have that kind of success?
Probably. I mean, that's like an outer success, like, oh, flashy in the magazines, that kind of thing. But they're all kind of, I'm not sure how to say in female warrior. How do you say women? So my mother, my sister, they're all entrepreneurs. Yeah, everybody in my family are entrepreneurs.
Really?
So, yeah, everybody built their own path. So
amazing.
Yeah. I didn't feel like I was more special than others in my family. They're all strong but there's some issues, of course. There's daddy issues. That's why I was like trying to prove things, of course. I feel like when there's like a big, I need to prove how fantastic I am. I feel like it comes from the father part.
Okay, got it.
And I had a lot of father wound. My father was an alcoholic. He died when I was 15. So it was a lot of not having him in my life. And I think that connected to wanting a lot of recognition and approval from men. So of course I go into a male-dominated sport, all men, and I'm like the only one in between 60 guys. Every time there's big waves, maybe there's one or two women at that time. Now there's plenty. It's like we open the path for many, many women now. But at the time, it was like they used to kick me out of the water, like super chauvinistic, terrible. Not everybody. Some men were super supportive, and others were like, "You get out of here, like we don't want a woman here."
Good for you for paving the way.
I had something to prove, to myself. At that time, I'm gonna be super honest. I used to be like, I'm not a feminist. I'm not doing this for women. I just want to surf the biggest waves I can surf. I was so obsessed with surfing that was like a addition. Like, good, great. It's inspiring other people, other women, but I wanted to just see my capabilities as a human. How much can I go in something that is so hard to do? And all the courage that it takes, and the focus and the mentality and the mindset, everything. So anyway, I got the concussion, and then all the things that I built, they were gone like this, like gone.
Wow.
So no more coaching, because I was doing abundance coaching also for it. I told you that. So, but 2 or 3 months later, I was so depressed because my brain was so damaged that I was like beyond depressed. I could barely speak. Everything took a lot of effort. So that was done. I was like cynical. I was like, who am I gonna motivate to do what? Like go get your head hit and then you tell me about life, about manifesting. Like I was so cynical. I was like, yeah, you wanna manifest your dreams, do it. Just wait till you hit your head. That's how I was looking at life. The sponsor left right away. I was married at the time, so my husband left 3 months later. We had a bad relationship, and a lot had to do with him telling me, you're pushing yourself to almost death, like I need you to stop. And I was like, no, this is my dream, nothing's gonna stop me. So when I come back with a brain injury, he was like, I'm done, like I've been begging you all these years. And it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and it just bubbled up. So then I'm gone. I have to leave the house. I don't have my dog with me. The whole thing,
it's like all is lost. Yeah,
everything lost, like nothing stayed. And that culminated in coming to actually leave Hawaii. That was the hardest thing ever for me. I was so attached to living in Hawaii and moving to Austin to get medical treatments. And that was like 6 years of my life living in Austin. That for me was like, I love Austin. I love it. I think it's a great city, but I need the ocean. And I felt like I was like living inside a jail, But a journey unfolded there. I actually ended up finding my happiness in Austin, in the simple things of life. I mean, everything had to deconstruct everything, and then have to find where's my happiness without the extreme things, the extreme, recognition, the adrenaline, all the things, all the traveling the world, like with just walking around the lake, and being a waitress. And it was a wonderful journey. I mean, it was incredible.
I'm curious because I hear you, and I think so many people can relate to being angry about something happening in their life, right? And just kind of losing faith, losing hope. You said that a journey unfolded there. Do you remember like the first moment that you felt joy again, or the first moment that you felt hope again, or the first moment that you recognized what had happened as a gift?
Ooh, I love your question because that speaks so good of you compared to how my brain usually tends to go to the dark side. So I thought that the question was gonna be, do you remember when you got angry for the first time? I was going to answer that. I was like, I remember.
You can talk about that too if you want.
I remember doing big FUs to my higher power, like like that, just like
yeah.
Like I was so upset with my life, but I do remember.
That's what I wanted to ask you was, what was your relationship with God during that time?
That's a good question.
Yeah. And for me, I always had a relationship with God, aside of religion or anything. Like, since I'm aware, I had a very strong spiritual connection to God. And yeah, I was freaking mad. I used to be like, fuck you, and I hate you. And to be honest, I was suicidal. I mean, we're laughing here, but I was suicidal. And I was literally like begging to God, like, take me, somebody crash my car, or like, let's get this over with as time went by, because it wasn't just the loss, that was one part. It was also a damaged brain. So everything was off, the chemistry was off, my amygdala moved. So, all the hormones that produce like the happy hormones were like not there. So as much as I had tools of like, here are the affirmations and gratitude, it was dark. There was, I learned, at least in my journey, that you cannot go against brain chemistry. You can do all the things you want. And thank God if you have friends, support, higher power, but the brain has to heal or get better. So yes, I was mad at God and I cursed the shit out of God, which is fine. It's a relationship, it's not gonna be always the most loving.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least I was still there with God. But yeah, I remember having joy. I'm not sure if it was the first time, but I remember always a scene just walking around Barron Springs in Austin, like on a sunny day with a friend, her name is Heather, and just talking about whatever, simple things. And we were both kind of talking about how life used to be more exciting before for both of us. And suddenly like, but this is really awesome. We're here together and how beautiful this is. What a great day. And I feel like that started to bring me down to, this is actually really nice, and the second question, when I could see the gift, I'm gonna be honest, Amber, oh my God, it took me ages. Like, not until too far ago, I would be like, but if I could, I'm being very honest here. Sorry, I should be more motivational. But
no, this is motivational.
People need to hear the truth. Yeah.
Well, what I used to feel was like, I wish I just died in the accident, because it was just so painful, everything for so long. It was just so hard to do every day and end up alive, that even when things got better, I was like, I just, like, I don't know, it would have been easier if I just died, I don't have that feeling anymore. And I feel, I feel like a lot of it, because I was going to say, I have a child now, and I am like, whoa, what a gift that now I can, enjoy this. If I wasn't here, I have a baby, and it's amazing.
You wouldn't be a mother mermaid.
Yeah. And it's a whole journey also, but I feel like the parts where I actually start healing, really healing and feeling like, wow, now this makes sense. And in a way, I'm grateful that it happened, is when I'm in service helping other people. Through my coaching or whatever. A lot of times it's not even through coaching, just whatever. It could be helping somebody that I met, the hairdresser, whoever, the group program, I don't care, but there's a lot of service in my life. I feel like I developed a lot of empathy for suffering. And because I had also physical pain, then I had herniated disc on top of the brain injury. So it was just like, it was one thing, and the herniated disc was like, oh, the brain injury prepared me for that, because that was the bad one. So it was just, I mean, I'm sure I was paying big karma. Who knows what I've done, in other lifetimes, and maybe in this one. I'm sure it's okay, getting balance, but when I can see people under suffering, and I can help them either have hope or find ways to get to a better place. And when those things happen, when there's a little like light that enters the spirit of somebody when we're having a conversation, there's nothing like it. I feel like that's what healed me. It's not so much what I built after, it's more the action of service that makes it like, that makes me cry sometimes in gratitude.
So, we're on the Embodied Woman podcast, so we have to ask you about being an embodied woman and what that means to you now in your journey with everything you've been through. What does it mean to you to be an embodied woman?
What a deep question, right? Like, I love it. I love it. I mean, for me, it's to embody all aspects of myself and love myself as I am, with my depression, with my anxiety, with my enthusiasm, with my fucked up things, with my sometimes loss of hope or whatever it is. I had to learn. I was so broken that I had to really learn to bring up all those pieces, all the pieces of me, and reparent them and be there for myself with so much compassion and love and care. There was no other way out of that depression. There was no way around it. I had to love myself, absolutely broken. And now I'm not broken. I don't feel broken at all. But I'm still me, right? I have complex PTSD, very well, it's managed and all that. But I might have my breakdown here and there. And when those things come up, they're scary. They're scary. And for example, the first thing that comes up is like, but you're a coach. You're helping women like manifest beautiful lives, and you're having a fucking depressive breakdown. You even have a suicidal thought, like, and that's when for me the embodied woman shows up, like in action, because it's easier when everything is it's easier for me to tell you when I go to the gym and I go surfing and I meditate, I'm an embodied woman. But for me, it's like, okay, I'm in a fucking breakdown. Sorry for the F word, and
it's okay.
And I'm a coach and I'm letting everybody down, but I love myself. I just love myself, and I can feel like this, and it's okay to feel like this. And I just love myself.
Yes, that like radical self-acceptance. Yeah. Unconditional.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think that's so important and so valuable, because I don't know why we have this concept that we should only show up when we are happy and feeling good and motivating, like, because nobody is 100% of the time in that space. And so I think it's really important for us to show up as embodied women with a willingness to be honest about all of it. And so I appreciate that. And I love what you said too, because, you mentioned something about you're helping women with their relationship with money and with getting rich and abundance. And you're also on the journey yourself, because I think sometimes we as coaches, healers, we're like, well, I got to be, in fact, Siri and I were just talking about this today. Like, I got to be at the top of the mountain before I help other people. And Kathy Heller, who we all know, who we've all, participated in her courses, she says that, right? Like, it's a come with me. And so that's what we are three here doing today, right? Come with us. We are embodied women. We are embracing all of who we are, and we invite you to come with us on this journey. So I love your honesty.
Thank you. I love that.
What are some of the tools that help you? So when you are not at the top of the mountain and you're feeling those days, what are some of your tools that help you come back into your center, to come back into your most embodied self?
Yeah. So when it's really bad, what I try to do is to, well, take a few deep breaths. I have to calm my nervous system, and it helps me to literally hug myself, but like a bilateral movement up and down that seems to calm my brain, and just embrace myself. And yeah, I know. And yeah, even my brain doctor says that that helps so much to relieve the nervous system. There's studies like similar to them, EMDR, those things. I don't know how to explain that they work, but something with movement from one side to the other of the eyes, it rewires your brain.
Yep.
So me, like from the physical would be to breathe and hug myself. I even like kind of squeeze my arms, like I got you, I got you, I got you. And yeah, and I just tell myself, I usually ask God to help me, to be honest, when I'm in those spaces. I say, God, help me, help me, help me. It's in a way opening the door, to spirit for me. And to try to tell myself, sometimes I have to see myself as a little child and tell myself, I love you, I love you, I love you, with these emotions right now. And I name them. I love you as you screamed to your husband, which is embarrassing and I wish I didn't do. And I'm like, I'm unlovable. I should not love myself doing that. I should not accept myself doing that. And that's the hardest part. I have to look at me in that situation inside, what I was doing, and dare to love myself like that. And I have to do it. It doesn't release the tension until I can say, stop the fight, and I love myself in that horrible action or whatever it may be. That's like an example of something that makes me embarrassed and ashamed. I'm feeling that I'm not worthy of love, So yeah, trying to love myself in my worst.
I'm really curious about your relationship with your body.
Oof. Siri, well, that's a journey that I have to learn a lot from, a lot, so it's crazy because it comes from probably a lot of childhood trauma and then sexual trauma in my teenage years, like a lot of sexual trauma that I dissociated from my body.
Okay.
And then big wave surfing made sense because it was about getting pounded underwater by tons of water. So when you get underwater, when you get in a wipeout or a 30-foot wave breaks on top of you and they come in sets of 5, so one after the other, it's almost like they're beating you up, like a group of people are beating you up with a baseball bat. Like it's super violent. It really is. And you're not breathing. Okay. So you're getting beat up and not breathing for a while. And I used to be underwater, like, give it to me. Like that's home. That's what I come from a home with domestic violence. Not that I was hit, but the energy of the peaks and the ups and downs and the fear and the like the extremes. So it was comfortable. It was home to be in this environment. I recreated it as an athlete. I got all the glamorization. I got the recognition. It was a perfect formula for me. Then I had to let go of that, and the whole withdrawal came from that, which it was serious. Like no joke, I had withdrawal, chemical withdrawal from years of being in a high of adrenaline to nothing, right? And then as I had a damaged brain, I had to actually learn to cater to my body from the bottom up. Like, what do you need right now? Like, I don't know. You need to freaking eat right now. You cannot be like 6 hours without eating. Your blood sugar drops, you fall dead. You fall not dead, you faint. So literally I had to connect to those things. What do you need? I need to eat. I need to sleep. I need to cry. I need to speak my truth. So that's been my journey. But now I wish I could tell you, oh my God, I'm so embodied in my body. It's still, to be very honest, is still almost foreign to me. The relationship with being in my body. I'm learning, and I'm not. Maybe I need to learn it in a more specific way. Maybe with what you guys do, or I don't have a path yet. All I know is that I listen to my body's needs. I talk sweet things to my body. I tell my body that she's amazing because she was incredible to regenerate a damaged brain, to regenerate a damaged spine, all that from the beginnings of big wave surfing, and then to create a human and I'm delivered, I'm birthed, and I mean, it's I tell my body, you're so fantastic and so strong, you're unbelievable, and I'm so sorry that I ever judge you, you know? And I'm so sorry that I didn't take care of you and sexually didn't take care of you. And so there is that aspect. So I gotta give myself a little bit of credit. There is something there. It's not maybe what I imagine. I see other women more in their feminine energy living. That in a way I envy in a good way. Like, oh, how they're so embracing of the. And I'm still a little bit disconnected. It's part of my journey.
It's so refreshing, your authenticity and your vulnerability. And, you know, the reason I ask that is because when I see your Instagram, I'm like, oh my God, she's got the greatest body. But I know you went through this transformation, and what that must have been like for you to not constantly be, working with your body and
Oh yeah.
having to slow down, and then what that feels like to like have to reinvent your self-image.
Yeah, and it was so humbling because I was literally like a superwoman to not being able to walk one block. Like I would like pass out with a brain injury. So it was baby steps. I had to relearn to surf and the whole thing. Just being alive and doing the day was so hard. I didn't even care about surfing anymore. I just wanted to do the day. Thank God, yeah, the body can regenerate, and I want to give hope to anyone that may be listening. Maybe it's not a brain injury, but pain or something in their back or whatever it is. The body is so wise. I feel like the body wants to regenerate. It is so willing and is asking us, give me what I need. And for me, it was very clean nutrition, good supplements, and the whole thing, like I need to rest, I need to stretch. And that, yes, I do have a connection with that today. So, for example, the last week there were good waves here. That is rare here in Texas. There were some good waves. So with Leo, my husband, we surfed like great, like our arms were falling off because it was so much fun. But then I was broken. I'm like 42. I couldn't walk for 2 days, and I was taking hot baths with Epsom salt, all the oils, like, oh my God, I can't even walk. And Leo, then he's like, let's go again. There's more waves. I'm like, no, I can't do this anymore. He's like, but the waves are good. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want, my body wants to rest. And I do listen to that. And I love that. So like, I have surfing as part of my exercise. And I also have a gym that I rarely go. But when I go, like today I did body pump because I felt strong. But I literally look at I like taking classes of whatever. And I look and I go, what do you want? What do you need right now? I ask my body. Because I used to be like, I just pay, so I do body pump. I need my muscles. That's why I'm paying, right? But now it's like, oh my God, there's one called Body Flow, and they dance with a scarf. And
there you go.
And I love it because that day I need that. And it's really fun to look at the schedule and every day see what I want and need, because it's so, you just don't know until that moment, and it's super fun.
That's being in the feminine, is not being so rigid and saying, okay, body, what do you need today? I also want to mention too, this is when you were talking about the sexual trauma that you experienced, and then you said, oh, maybe I should be here, right? You compared yourself to where others might be on their journey. And I remember somebody saying to me once, and it was really helpful, you're right on schedule. You're right on time. And because I feel that way too. God, I should be here. All the work I've done, I should not be dealing with this anymore or whatever. And so I think, having gone through sexually traumatic experiences, it makes perfect sense that you would not feel safe in your body, and that it would be a process, and that it would take time, however long it needs to take for you to feel safe again in your body. And that goes for you and for all women who have ever felt unsafe in our bodies, that it is a process, and that, we must give ourselves grace to take as long as we need to take to feel that sense of safety. Yes. So you're right on time, right on schedule.
And Mercedes, it sounds like you do have a really nurturing relationship emotionally and physically with yourself. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit, because what I'm hearing is like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
I should do what she's doing. So curious about we want to hear more about the work that you're doing. How do you help women with money and abundance and mindset and all of this? Like, share, please.
I know. It's crazy because one thing led to the next. It's not that I was like, no, I want to help women with money. So basically, a few years ago, I started to have the spark to go back to my coaching as I was feeling very well, very happy, and kind of reinvented my life. And I found a wonderful man. I have a healthy relationship. All the things started to happen, like the abundance. Like we moved from Austin to the beach in Corpus Christi. We bought our dream little house. We built a business together. So then there's money. And I did have to actually work through big blocks of, in a way, money trauma to be able to allow this to happen without knowing at the time. And what happened was organically, I wanted to start sharing this with other women. And it wasn't really about money in the beginning. It was about, I want to share with you, if you went through the dark night of the soul and you broke down completely, I want to share the tools that helped me to begin again and rebuild myself, not just to baseline, but to have a wonderful, beautiful life, So that became a few group programs and masterminds I started doing just a year ago. I started with a group of women, and then more women join. And what I love is that the women that joined from the beginning, they're still all following in the next groups. So it's almost like a journey where we're growing into a next thing, Together. So we did a very beautiful group about how to nurture yourself into abundance from the inside out. And that literally is all the tools that I used. And on the Mermaids, I bring a nutritionist that she's very focused on brain health for us to, to have our mental health in a good place, to not have anxiety, to have more focus, not so much ADD, the hormones, all the things. So we have a nutritionist, I bring my meditation teacher, I give them the coaching on abundance and different things. We do some body movement. We do all these things to get well from from what you eat to how you move to how you think. That lines you up into an abundant life, an abundant energy. Mm-hmm. And that we finished that group, and I could see that they were, in a way, they were willing to talk about their dreams that they never talked about with anyone before. As they were getting themselves in a good space, after a few months, they were like, well, this is my dream, and I would like to either write a book, or I have this project. I would love to do a podcast, but no way I can do that. And I would love to make money helping others with coaching, but there's no way I can ever do that. So then it became like, okay, when that group finished, I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's bring your dreams and let's make them happen. So the Rich Mermaids is still all the other things, is still the foundation of well-being and wellness and loving and abundance, because from there, I learned that from that self-love, self-care, from there you connect to the true essence of abundance and things open up. And then we added the part that is, let's go for your dream. Let's see how we can make this happen without forcing, allow it to happen, taking loving action. I'm working on our money mindset. I call it money healing, because for me, it had to do with healing, not so much changing my mindset, but healing that inner child that didn't feel safe around a lot of things in my life. And one of them was around the financial reality that I grew up with, where for me there was money, there was no money, with alcoholism in the house, all different layers that I realized, oh my God, it's not that I had to really work on them. Like I was like, now I gotta work on this. It was more as my life unfolded the last years. Like, let's say with my husband, we were like, now we can buy our new house, when we were both having like 30K salaries a year, like employed by other people. Suddenly things started to happen, and I realized I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, when we buy this house, he's gonna die. It just went all the way there. And I didn't know why. And I wanted to sabotage the whole mortgage process. I was like, no. Like, maybe it's better if we just stay in this tiny apartment in Austin. Mm-hmm. And now we're living in this beautiful house very close to the beach in Corpus Christi, that for us is like 3 upgrades, like it's a lot for us. And I realized that I have to work through the trauma that was underneath allowing this money. And I could see that it had to do with my father dying, my father leaving a life insurance policy. When things went well for my father, finally, when he got himself sober and started to make actual money and put his life together, he died of a heart attack. So it was like, oh, now everything is going great. He's gonna die when we do this leap.
Right.
So I had to go into that trauma, and it was horrendous to walk through it with my therapist. I mean, it hurt. It was, I felt the fear. And I had to really be with my inner child and tell her step by step that we are safe. And I had to show her from every angle why we're safe now. From the outer to the inner, like outer meaning, okay, I get you a life insurance policy so you don't freak out if something happens to him. You know, like, let's be practical. Okay, do you calm down a little bit? Okay. Now, you know, just you are safe. You can have a loving relationship. Leo is not going anywhere. He's there for you. You know, you have your breakdowns, you go crazy. He's there for you. He's not going anywhere. You know, your father consumed alcohol and smoked and all these things. Leo doesn't. He's not going to die dead of a heart attack tomorrow. So I had to like really find the safety for me to allow the next big thing in our lives about abundance wise. And with that also came building a business from the ground up with him here in this new town, in this city. And literally we 10x our income in 1 year, you know, and it had to do with feeling deserving. We can live well, and we can, doesn't have to be all struggle. Maybe we learn from our parents that it has to be struggle. And well, thank you. I learned the lesson, but now I'm going to do a new lesson. The same way my brain was able to rewire and not be addicted to self-destruction and big waves and recognition and all the things. I have to find happiness in all the opposites, simplicity, like friendships, being with myself. Well, I can rewire that making money is a mess, making money is death, making money is loss, making money is drama, is violence, whatever. And no, making money can be sweet and loving and gentle and nurturing. And that's what we're doing there.
Amen. Oh my God.
Makes me want to cry.
Amber, you share.
I drink water.
No, I just want to weep.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I just want to weep because we are deserving. And we all have so many stories that tell us that we're not, or different, you know, different ideas about money, or, you know, or take on stories that our parents had about money, or take on stories that our, you know,
partners,
ex-husbands had about money, in my case, that I'm still healing, that I'm healing, you know, so that I can welcome in financial abundance. So it's so divine that we are having this conversation with you today about this. And when you said that you were able to 10x your income in a year, I love hearing that, because you are an example. You are a living example of being able to heal that money story. And I feel like that's what my whole life is about. And my prayer to God is always, let me be a living example of what is possible. And we all have our areas that we're still like, oh, this one, oh, this one. And for me, yeah, money is a big one. And I feel right now this conversation is God saying, I got you. You got you. Anything is possible. So thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful.
Thank you. You're welcome. And thank you for sharing what you just shared, because you bring also your depth, and I want to know your story. I want to know everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, for me, as I say, I'm in my journey. I'm not telling you, oh, I'm making my $30 million, whatever. Like, I'm not there, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Whatever is meant to be. I do want to expand into more abundance, because I want to. I'm curious, you know, because I know that is absolutely possible. So I want to experience certain things with. I still have dreams, you know. But for me, it comes, you know what, this is part of my journey. Like, it comes up every week. It comes down to money as a tool of self-love, because I can use, you know, like I do a lounge and oh my God, it's crazy. Like I did a lounge a few months ago and there was 1 week that it went really well. And I spiraled out of control that I needed to make more money, more money. Like, oh, now let me book more calls because I'm closing every client. And then I was burned out of my brain injury, cannot handle all those calls. And also the breakdown came. And then I'm in therapy talking about it. And I realized, wow, I still want recognition. There's a part of me that still wants recognition, that wants to say, my 50K lunch. I want to shout it off the rooftops because then I'm valuable as a person.
Right. Yeah.
And that's when I had to untangle the mess and be, oh my goodness, thank God that 9 women joined my group. We're going on this journey together with 9 souls. And thank you. And I hope I can help them. Let me be a tool, you know, let me be someone that can help them and let go of all that crap, like the launch, the numbers, and I'm better if I make this, but I'm not good if I don't make this money. So I can see how money for me is like a mirror of when I spiral out of control, because it's what I learned my whole life, to look outside of myself. And money, at least in our society, is like, oh, such a measurement of value almost.
Yeah.
So I say I'm in my journey because tomorrow I might be back into it and and I have to untangle it again because I just hit the wall and this is not how I want to live.
But you know how to untangle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you're showing these women.
Yeah.
And that's so vital. And I'm so appreciative that you're doing that.
And you have the awareness. I think that's also, differentiates us between now on our journey and before we all had our dark night of the soul. There's an awareness. It doesn't mean that we're living 100% of the time in life is amazing. But when we fall out of alignment or fall into fear or any of the old stories or beliefs, we have awareness like, ooh, okay, what is this here for? How can I get back into the place of alignment? Where is my faith? Where is this story coming from? What do I need to heal still? And sometimes, like today with Siri, I was like, sometimes I'm just like, can I just cruise for a while, please? Like,
can I have a break from?
Can I just cruise? Like, yeah. But it's moments like this that bring me so much joy and so much happiness and remind me I'm right on time. I'm right on schedule. And this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I really feel that with every part of me. And I'm so in love with you, Mercedes. I just think that you're such an incredible woman. And I'm so
ditto.
Yes.
Well, we're going to let you go, but we just want to say we're so, so, so grateful. And we can't wait to dive in to finding out more about your mermaid courses, because maybe we'll be one of your people too.
I would love to have you there. Imagine how cool it would be.
Is there any, what's your Instagram handle?
Sure. Just find me on Instagram at Mercedes Maidana. So Mercedes, like Mercedes, the car, the Benz, Mercedes Benz. Maidana, Maidana, Mercedes Maidana. Find me there and we go from there. You're going to find on the link in my bio, all the Rich Mermaids, everything is there.
Perfect.
I love it. I love it.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I will be talking with you guys forever and ever. It's just such a joy, such a joy.
And maybe you can be a guest speaker in our course.
Yeah, we can talk about that too. I don't know what you're doing, but
we're creating it. It's happening.
Our money, sex, and God. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's so amazing. That's so funny. And I say so funny because maybe one day we do another episode, but the whole dark night of the soul came with tremendous healing of my sexual, not just sexuality, but everything around everything. How I approach sex my whole life. And that was actually a lot of the healing that I've done.
Yeah, let's do another episode about sex.
Absolutely. We'll do this again. There's more to talk about. I love it.
Oh.
She's like, what happened? She's gone.
I think she accidentally disconnected, but
God.
she told me she only had half an hour.
Yeah.
So and I just looked at time. I was like, damn, that went fast.
I know.
Oh my God, is she just like
I love
the
her.
most gorgeous, like honey
Oh,
when she speaks?
I want to talk like I love her accent. Where is she from? What is that accent? It's just ooh.
Did it say in her bio?
She's not from Texas.
No.
It
doesn't say in her bio.
Oh
So, but I'm so inspired by her story, and I'm particularly inspired by her authenticity and her humility, because the one thing that turns me off about abundance coaches is when they're like, look at me, I've made so much money, I'm so amazing, like look at all the money I make. I did this much this month. I kind of get turned off by that. And she doesn't come across that way.
Oh, there she is. She's coming back. She's so cute.
Oh my God.
I was like, well, she has to go. It's okay.
Yeah, like imagine if I left, like I'm like this thing that I'm like, okay, I'm done. Bye.
But we were just trying to figure out where you were born. Where's your accent from?
That's my battery. I'm like the worst. I didn't have my computer plugged and it just turned off.
It's okay. No, we knew. All is good. All is well.
From Buenos Aires,
Argentina.
Okay. I want to speak like you. I love it. So good.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if you have to do a little edit at the end, or it's like, okay, bye. Done.
No, yeah, we're good. I wanted to let you go because you said you had half an hour, so
thank you.
Yeah.
So what's the course the course you're gonna do?
Well, we're talking about doing a course called Money, Sex, and God, the Embodied Woman, Money, Sex, and God, or Money, Sex, and Source.
Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah, like just go like Money, Sex, and God is so like boom, like what?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it too.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah.
Wow, and I love it. I think it's gonna be.
I mean, it's not original. I'm pretty sure I'm stealing it from a course.
Nothing's original,
but
I mean, really.
But
we're all, you know.
And we're still recording this. Is for our YouTube, just so you guys know.
But are we live?
we're still live.
Oh, Mercedes. Siri and I are doing a virtual retreat on November 14th, and she's going to be doing breath work, and I'm going to be teaching dance. And so you were talking about wanting to find new ways to like be in your body, and so, you know, take a look at your calendar. That might be something that would be fun.
Yeah, then send me or whatever.
Yeah.
Link or something.
Yeah.
We will.
No, I don't know if are we being live? Are people watching this conversation?
We're not live streaming, but I'm gonna post this to YouTube.
Yeah, they'll see it.
Yeah.
But no, we were just gushing about how much we love you and how amazing you are, and how just your authenticity and your humility and your honesty is really beautiful, and it's very inviting. And I think that's really important when you're working in this capacity as a healer and a teacher, is, you know, to use the come with me. We're all in this journey together.
It's very welcoming. It's not intimidating, because I find some abundance coaches to be like, look how much money I made this month. And I find that to be slightly off-putting.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you're not making what you want to make, and you already have some of the shame going on, then you're like, you know.
And you know, the way I approach it, that's why we go like the Rich Mermaids. It's not just money. It's like rich life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like last week, for example, I was feeling like tired and burned out, and I had to send offers and newsletters and all the things that are gonna make me money. And I just went surfing the whole week, and that was it. And by the end of the week, I was feeling so good. It took me days to get back to a place of feeling, oh my God, my soul is back in my body. Yeah, so for me, when I talk about being an abundance coach, it's more about being fulfilled, you know, happy with yourself, even when things are horrible with yourself,
Mm.
like finding how you can love yourself. And then the money is just one more manifestation of doing that. It's just an extension. You can't separate. I don't know another way around it, you know?
I love that.
too.
That makes
love
it
it
feel
too.
so easy and gentle, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because
yeah.
I feel like money feels like this very masculine thing.
Hmm.
But the way you talk about it feels so feminine.
Wow, I love it. Thank you. I take all that because for me, I always feel like I have zero feminine energies and I want to have it. So
No, you totally do.
Not from my perspective.
coming from you too, that you're super feminine. Thank you.
No, yeah.
Beautiful.
The idea is to not, yeah, I don't ever wanna be like I'm above anyone, you know. Even when I was telling you guys that I had my breakdowns, one of them was on my last mastermind, like just for a few days, but I had a coaching session to do and I couldn't. And I sent them a message to all of them, like, hey, I'm sorry, but and I didn't lie. It wasn't like I'm just not in a good space right now to give you my
Mhm.
best.
Mhm.
And I need to rest and get back to. And they were like, oh my God, we love you. Take care of yourself. Thank you for showing me that I can also cancel.
Right.
And thank you
Yeah.
for showing me that I have to take care of myself. Ah, that's a relief. You know, so I don't want to place myself from I'm above, I'm unbreakable, and you
Yeah,
gotta.
we're not a machine. Yeah.
Yeah. I love what you said. And after we'll let you go but I love what you said because we have been conditioned in the culture that we've all grown up in that when you get to that point where you're starting to feel burned out, tired, like push through it, send the email, do the newsletter,
Yep.
make the money. And what you did was you said, you know what? I'm just going to go surfing for the week. That's a new way of seeing like, oh, I can make the money by coming into alignment by doing the thing that feeds my soul, not by pushing and forcing and doing it anyway from a place of burnout.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
love that. I love that message. I think that's important.
Like
Funny.
hustle culture.
Yeah. And I remember the day I said, F it, I just can't deal with it. I need to go surfing. And I entered the water and I inside I said, surfing is my work, it's my job, but not as a professional surfer. It was more like this coaching work that I do, I gotta go surfing.
Yeah.
That's what brings me money because if not, nothing comes like just in flow.
Right.
You have to be in flow.
Yeah.
In the receptive mode. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Moving into the receptive mode by being in flow, opening yourself, being in the water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank you,
for having me.
Mercedes.
That's so the
So
best.
wonderful. And we'll do this again because we have more to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk more and we can talk about your courses and being a guest. I love your energy. I've been seriously interviewed by so many people and usually they're all the same questions and I really enjoyed having something different. So I really enjoyed
Good.
it.
Yay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Mwah.
Have a
Bye.
good weekend.
We'll see
Bye.
you soon. Bye.
Yay.
Yay. Good stuff.
I love how she talks about it is actually very feminine and very embodied,
It is.
right? The way that she approaches all of it.
I find her to be incredibly feminine. Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting that she doesn't necessarily perceive herself to be that way, but she comes off very open, right? Like soft, very feminine.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. Goddess energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't always see ourselves the way other people see us.
That's right. Well, what another gift.
Yes.
What another gift today was. And in such perfect timing, synchronicity, alignment, it was like we called it in. It was all so perfect because what we were talking about all day. And then it was like, oh, here's the answer.
I know.
I mean, that is God answering you, Amber.
I just have to laugh and I have to tell on myself because I shared with you on Voxer, but I think it's very funny that last night
Mm-hmm.
I was in my car having a conversation with God, and I wasn't very happy about things in the moment. That's putting it mildly. I was having a moment. I was feeling a heightened sense of frustration and fear and anger and overwhelm. And why is this happening?
Yeah.
And here I am, less than 24 hours later, having this conversation, feeling I'm laughing. Like, I was not laughing last night.
Right.
Okay?
I know.
I was not laughing. And so I just think that's something, that's something, is that here I am. I'm feeling hopeful. I opened myself to receive your guidance and your coaching and your help. I've been honest. I've been vulnerable. I've been sharing. I've been asking God for help. I've been asking you for help. And then here we are having this conversation. And it's like, okay.
And then God delivered a mermaid.
God delivered a rich mermaid. A rich mermaid.
With gold around her neck. To tell you to just go enjoy the ocean and it'll all come to you.
Just, right? I mean,
yeah.
Pretty good.
It's good.
Pretty good.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.